Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
So, saw why we had an echo. Apparently, my onboard mic was on too. But
Cool.
I listened a bit to the playback, and I just sound like an eldritch god speaking to you from across the cosmos.
Yeah.
So,
I can't wait to hear how that sounds.
probably fine.
Sounds
Probably
amazing.
fine.
Really, it's only a benefit.
Yeah, I
It's only
wholeheartedly
enhancement.
agree.
Vampires are scary.
Yeah.
True.
Especially when they've been custarded.
So
Oh my-
Whose fault was that?
let us answer
Oh.
the eternal.
Oh my
I just
gosh,
wanted to
goodness.
play piano. I didn't, organ.
I really came into this expecting Obi and Sally to be an audience, but lately Laurel is just taking the lead on everything.
Only when it's funny.
Which is always. But what'd you guys think?
I'm surprised that, we're a spanking podcast, but today's episode was all about Wham.
Listen, I'll get a couple friends in on it. They'll love it.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is rare for a few people we know.
Oh no! I happen to know one of our fans
Yeah.
is into that. Fans,
Yeah.
one of our listeners.
If you are unfamiliar with the term Wham, it stands for wet and messy, and it's a kink where people are into wet, like double dare shit,
Yeah.
like goop, like goop.
You'll
It's
see
called
it if you're on my Patreon.
guns
You see them all the time.
and,
Guns, yeah, that's it.
yeah, that's the Britishy term for it. Anyways,
I almost had someone telekinesis that custard right back at you, Laurel. But I was like, natural one. I'm gonna give them a combat now for their
a
trouble.
very
Now
small
you-
consequence.
Between the custard and then just the way Gordy said hello to Laurel.
I'm having a bad
oh my
day.
god.
I didn't say hello. I believe the exact term was "welcome home."
Yeah.
See,
Laurel.
your double mic will be perfect for that.
You do now.
Dang it.
Oh yeah, my double mic echo will be perfect for that. I should listen to that on the raw audio.
You should.
Oh, you should have fun effects like that when you're talking,
Oh, we should.
or if there's ghosts or something.
I don't know how to do it. Otherwise, I would.
Ads.
I'll learn you.
Yeah, we'll learn it. I think you can do, honestly, a lot of those things in OBS and, bind them to keybinds.
Okay, well then, if we can do it, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
I'd
you can do
also
lots of fun things.
I'd also like music, but usually the music I want is things from the SNES, and you know what things from the SNES are? Copyrighted.
So, literally, we make no money and none of our videos are monetized. The Twitch
but
VOD might be muted.
The algorithm will find it and take it down.
Nah.
Well, you could have played
We'll make our
chopsticks
no
though.
money.
That would have
Yeah.
worked. That's
Like,
not
it'll be fine.
public domain.
Yeah,
The YouTube will find it and will take it down. They have the.
No, they won't. They'll just demonetize our videos that aren't monetized.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure they take it down, don't they?
Nah, usually they just demonetize it. They might, in some case, I think you can option to just mute a section, but for MIDI stuff, we should be pretty safe. If I'm being honest.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
You
So-
remember, we used to have those that voice distorting program for Skype.
I never could get it to work again.
Oh well.
I tried.
You got it to work through my computer and had a lot of fun. But I'll get the same.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That was the reason you kept having that joke, I have a voice distorter on my voice to make me sound like a boy.
Yeah, but secretly.
Because I did have. I was like, hey, guess what? It's me.
I put one on to sound like a girl before. I was very happy.
Yeah, we switched places.
Oh.
Aw.
Well, that was when we were long distance.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You're just like, oh my
Hey,
god.
baby, what's up? We're like, how much?
Anyone who says long distance can't work, that's bullshit.
It is.
I'm
Oh, it's
engaged
true,
right now, so, meh.
I mean, me and Cherry, same. I mean, we definitely did. We did long distance for, I think. I mean, we were friends for a long time, but then when we were getting serious, it was probably 3 years long distance in our
Wow,
serious
really?
state. So yeah.
How far apart were you guys?
She was in New York, and I was in North Carolina, and she would drive twice a year to come out and see me. And
Aw.
we would just spend the entire week together, just doing everything. It was really fun.
Aw.
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned that. It's actually thinking back. That's how me and my girlfriend started out. We were buds, and basically we're like long distance friends because she was living outside of Dallas and I live outside of Austin, so it's like a
Oh yeah.
3 or 4 hour drive depending
I thought
on
you were going to say
traffic.
inside of Dallas.
No, it's not LA rules where short distances take multiple hours. So like, I would see her. I would manage to coax her into coming down a couple of times a year or so, and then she moved to go to school closer by, and she was like an hour away from me, and she'd come hang out on the weekends or just random days. And then when we started dating officially, and we're like moving towards moving in, eventually it was just like, yeah, just you know what, fuck it, just stay here. Which is great, except for the part where we haven't been able to get rid of her apartment she leased until like August. So
Yikes.
she has an apartment she hasn't been to in literal months that we still have to pay for.
Oh man.
Fun.
Cancel rent.
Well, on the topic of talking about how we met or how we started, I actually met my girlfriend back when AOTK first went down so many years ago. If y'all remember that,
Oh, I do.
I do.
when we had to go,
I was there 3,000 years ago.
From the before for.
First, a lot of people went to a site called Naughty Corner.
Mhm.
And,
I remember that one.
Yep, I do.
we quickly left because it was kind of
Bad?
little
Sketcheroony.
sketchy.
Should we
And then-
avoid
and
talking
then-
shit on the show? I don't know.
Nah, fuck
Is
it.
still
I don't-
around?
I don't think it's still around. So
Also, like,
Okay. They're not
honestly, it's
still
pretty-
around. Fuck them.
also we're not being like this personal individual can go suck every single wingus.
I don't know. When someone says, "Oh, I left the OTK because it's just such garbage," I'm like, "Man, fuck you. It's my community. You're the garbage, and we threw
You're
you
the
out.
bad
Now you're
one.
bitter."
But she had, when the site went down, she had gone to Naughty Corner as well, and like she had never really engaged with the community before, but she decided to post up a roleplay ad. She was looking for an RP partner. I was like, hell yeah, I'm looking for an RP partner,
Oh,
and answered the ad, and ever since then,
You guys just never stopped RPing.
yeah, we actually still RP to this day, even though
Spank me for my crimes.
even though she usually sits about 4 feet away from me. So she's
4
from New
feet.
York too.
Luxury.
Sexy times.
That's
Oh,
a
yeah, I'm
funny.
telling you, those New York girlfriends.
Oh,
They're
them New York gals.
yeah.
Delicious.
I don't know. I like these Washington gals.
Overrated.
Aw.
That's just because,
It's
listen,
the
you only
polka.
feel that way because you have a California girl.
True.
Aw.
Aw.
It's true compared to California. I mean, it's no contest, really.
The only problem is it takes 3 hours to get to where Ashley's at any point.
Not anymore. Takes
No,
much
it's-
longer than that.
It's a really half-formed California joke about like how like walking across the room takes 3 hours for some reason. There's just a lot of traffic. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
It was a poorly thought out joke, and I don't know why I keep on
No,
trying to
no.
save it.
No, you're fine.
The way you said no, no,
I was
you're,
like, no. Everybody laugh at Sally's joke.
I'd be
Oh,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
like that.
I would lean in so hard and be like, yeah, laugh,
Hell yeah.
ha ha ha.
Oh no! Don't you Final Fantasy X in here? Oh
I'm
my
glad you
god.
picked it up.
Speaking of, I have been on the most Final Fantasy VI kick that ever was.
I respect it. I respect your choice.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy, you say?
On the other
Fantasy
hand-
VI.
Full fence.
Oh, 6. Which one is that? Is that the Super Nintendo one?
It is one of them.
Yes.
Is that the is that the one that starts out with like the guy walking in the snow or whatever?
3 Magitech armors walking in the snow. Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember that snow part. Like, I've always meant to play that game, but like,
Oh, it's good. It's still good. I think.
yeah. And the other problem is like I couldn't remember which one it was because of like, fuck you localization on the numbering thing for 1,000 years. So I'm just like, I don't know.
3 on its original release. 6 ever since like 99
Okay.
or something like that.
I think that one might be on Switch now. I might be thinking.
Nope.
It's
I
also
keep
on.
wanting it.
It's on computer.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, but the interface is fucking garbage.
Yeah, no, I've got like 17 little different emulation machines. I have my computer, and then like I took a Raspberry Pi and put RetroPie on it, and then
The best
put it in a little
way to
Super
play
Nintendo case. So that's fun.
Right, you're not supposed to say that. Nintendo's gonna calm down on us.
Fucking, I wish Mr. Miyamoto would. He's in quarantine. He can't do shit.
Also, Mr. Nintendo, everybody, while you're stamping us down, could you sign my like Nintendo stuff, please?
Yeah.
Yep.
Excuse me,
I
Johnny
wish-
Nintendo.
But apparently, the best way to play FF6 is on the original emulation with a patch for decensoring it.
Oh yeah, that'd be tight.
Because that fixes some stuff that American translation loves to ruin. But yeah, it's rad.
Oh god, yeah. You gotta love the like lingering, like, or not even lingering. Well, I guess it's not quite as lingering anymore, but like especially in the 90s with localization and everybody's very like, you can't have a vaguely Christian looking symbol in this game, you God.
You
That's why,
can
like,
smoke cigarettes. No, make it a lollipop.
hell yeah.
Guns? No,
He's got a
no.
lollipop.
No guns. We're
I'm
gonna
all
have them
about
menacingly pointing fingers.
I like traveling to the Grand Line, there's no doubt. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like Link to the Past, one of like the most like highly like fucking lionized bits of like nostalgia for all you SNES nerds, like has so much like weird cultural censorship on the American version where like all these like old men wearing suspiciously Catholic collars are just old men instead of like priests, and like, you know, there's only goddesses and you only have to pray to open one of the temples. There's no religious symbolism at all.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
I gotcha. Yeah, I don't think how they could censor religious symbolism out of Final Fantasy. It doesn't have. It's not a thing.
It's just, I don't know. It's dumb.
Yeah,
It's for
Dumb
dum-dums.
is stupid.
yeah.
Stupid and dumb.
It's stupid. It is dumb.
Half the games are about killing God.
I mean, maybe we should. It's, let's break away from our...
Whoa, we're getting a little niche in here.
All right, sorry about that. That's Final Fantasy, not us. We're about vampires and.
we would never kill a god. This is a strongly atheist podcast. Yeah. Facts and logic only,
Laurel.
please.
You got Amber barfed on you. Let's talk about that.
I can't. I don't have a mouth anymore.
Oh, no.
What'd you guys think of that?
That was
Scary?
unexpected, spooky, scary, and very exciting. I can
It
see
was
why how
spooky,
last game.
scary, and skeletons.
And it's not even October.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, what I like about this is that it always feels like October when I play this game.
Yeah.
I love that
I'm so
Yeah.
glad.
because that's my favorite month.
I'm so glad. Although I am quite ready to move on from Barovia-inspired setting. Once this little.
No, you're not.
I thought for a moment you were going to say, I'm quite ready to move on from 2020. I'm like, yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
that
yeah.
too.
Of course. But, you know, that kind of goes without saying.
Goodness, golly gracious, it's
Gobbly goodness.
But, yeah.
been a ride. But I
It's
have
just-
something.
Yeah.
Oh, keep going. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, it's just because, like, not only we're doing this one, which I love, but then the next D&D game I joined was Curse of Strahd. And
Oh, no.
like, the next one was another like gothic spooky, and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to stop. And then in our other game, it wasn't goth per se, but we were dealing with witches and a haunted mansion and ghost Sally
Witches.
trying to get her body back, and so it was like, all right, I'm ready for something that's not dark and spooky.
Now we got Arabian
constantly.
Nights.
Yeah, now we're
That's
Bum,
That's
bum, 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 bum.
I love the setting in that one.
Oh, thank you. I made it up.
It wasn't a pre-made.
Nope. I don't do that too well. I take ideas, I mix them up. Anyways, I'll stop talking about me. Sally, you were gonna say a thing.
Oh yeah, it's time to talk about me. We don't do enough of that.
I was trying to be like, fuck. We said we were gonna talk about something on Tip.
Oh yeah, let's see. I've got notes. One of them was Castlevania, but before we get to Castlevania, I was just gonna say if you guys are looking for something to break the tedium of fucking a horrible 2020,
The tedium of fucking.
Jesse Cox.
Doing it wrong.
Jesse Cox just released season 2 of probably what is the greatest endeavor in human artistic history.
Guilty Treasure Gaming?
Well, second, you're right. He just did it. It was really weird. I was like, wait a minute, Jesse. No, he released season 2 of the Gentleman's Hentai Review, or the Gentleman's Hentai Club. That's what it is. And they just watch like Garbo, like 90s and very early 2000, like pre-Bible Black hentai, and just like do like basically like an MST3K review of it, and it's so fucking funny.
I mean, consider the source material. I had a DVD of a hentai. I'm not gonna say the name.
Which one?
Which one?
Say it.
It sounds
Say it.
terrible.
Dog, literally, I'll reveal something horribly like cringy about my past. Don't worry about
Do
it.
it.
It was called Sex Warrior Pudding.
Hell
The
yeah.
name, not
See?
what they make.
See, that's exactly what the kind of shit I'm talking about. That's what makes
And,
it
like,
so much fun.
It was the most hilarious, like, just over the top, like, begrudgingly a hentai. Like, they were making a fucking comedy show. But
Yeah,
they couldn't
no, that-
hack it in actual anime land, so they had to make it a hentai.
Yeah, so like that's the kind of stuff that they review is just like those like 90s ass gems where it's like, yeah, this is porn, but also you better fucking believe that there's gonna be like a deep lore about like hell and heaven and the
Oh, hell
bureaucracy
yeah.
and like
there was no
and like
lore.
family ties and like so like the first season was like 6 episodes and they watched and like went through every episode of La Blue Girl.
Oh, fun.
And then let's see, they did this next season has been I think it's 2. One of them, the first half is Viper GTS, and I don't know what the other one is. I haven't gotten to it yet. But my golly goodness, fucking Japan and hentai in general is just it's ripe for just like what the fuck? Constant.
Yeah.
Oh my, yes.
I mean, I bought a DVD from it doesn't even exist anymore. No, it does. It's FYE. But they closed it in my mall
Aw,
in North
we love
Carolina.
the FYE
Yeah.
at our mall.
Yeah, that was where I bought my first like hentai, and of course, it's really hard to find male on male hentai because that's what I was
yeah.
interested in. So yeah, I think I still have it. It was no money because it's like there's not very many
I know
other
that
ones.
one.
Okane
Yeah.
Gonai, isn't that what
Yes,
it's called?
that's
Yeah.
exactly how it said.
I
I
read that
love
whole
that.
thing.
I remember that being the first time I ever saw like anime porn. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And especially guys too, because usually there's loads of the big booby bouncing, ones, big butts. But the guy on guy action that was like anime porn was just like, that's what I was looking for, and it's a rare treasure. And even though it's not that great, really, I still have good memories of watching that for the first time.
Hell yeah.
She, Festo roped me into like something like that. One of those old visual novels. What was it called? I forget what it was called.
Enzai.
Enzai. Yes.
Yeah, it was Enzai. Okay, so funny story with it.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of this one. Tell me everything.
It's not good.
It's not.
Oh, it's not.
But
no visual novel is good.
I had it on a computer that had very spotty internet, and I had nothing to do. I was in college at the time, and it was summertime, and I hadn't had a job yet, like that summer. So there's just like a 2-week period of me having like nothing to do but watch TV all day, and we didn't have cable. I was like 19. And so I made a flowchart to get every ending in that game.
Hell yeah.
Because it's like you get different endings based on how you do. And I got every single one and liked 3 of them
Out of like 20.
out of like 32.
Oh, wow.
A lot of them
Oh.
are really fucking dark.
There's some bad ends in that
Dude,
one. Not the fun Nikki thing.
Yeah,
Straight
no,
up, you die.
yeah,
They're
gotta
really,
love.
like, needled to death.
Dude, there's something,
Yeah.
especially about like visual novels in particular, that really just kind of draw out like the weird, like super morbid ethos of like horny Japan in general, where you're just like, there's a lot of like deliberate like person murder going on of these naked women who you just raped. It's like, whoa,
Yeah.
guys, can you guys calm down? I just want to see some boobs.
Yeah, it's like, why you gotta ruin this otherwise perfectly happy jaunt?
Nikki teased me for an age because I made an entire flowchart.
You
And
should
it
have
was
put that.
like
Did you put that
8
shit up on
sheets long.
GameFAQs?
That is apparently still happening because
What?
he's still teasing you about
I
it.
know.
The teasing will never end.
And never.
It did,
So
however.
you did ask me for how to get to one ending, and I was able to supply it. So
Yes, there was one ending. I think it was like the really happy one where you
Yeah.
like marry like the lawyer or something. Your
Yeah.
lawyer,
you get out of jail and you married a lawyer
he's
that
the best, and he
Yeah,
always
yeah.
like reminds me of like Andy.
you're his like housewife.
Right? Yes, it's so cute. The rest of it, overall though, it's a
There's,
pretty garbage game.
The only other good ending is you're like an apprentice to like a baker, and like
God
We can marry your
damn,
lawyer.
this game has some fucking range.
yeah.
Get out of prison and marry a lawyer. You
the
become
only
an
other
apprentice
one that's, like,
baker.
Even passable
fuck?
is like you get Stockholms and you like your guard,
Oh, that
and he
guy.
like makes you his like just fun time buddy. He's like, you could just be in this room off to your own, and you're like, I guess I'm not dead, so cool.
I mean, I am a sex slave now. That's,
Yeah.
You know, you do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
I'm glad you feel that way because I've been thinking about how this campaign's going to end, and
No,
Oh,
Oh.
I said it was
here.
only
My
okay.
moral away from me.
listen to how worried I am. Oh no.
Oh no, it
Oh,
sounds
heck.
awful.
listen,
What are we gonna do?
You're going to love being encased in amber.
You're gonna like the way you look.
That's
I'm
me.
not-
Okay.
Listen, I have a DeviantArt, but that doesn't mean anything.
Next episode's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
I'm so excited to see what
I'm
happens.
excited.
We're 30 episodes in. I think it's about time we get the plot coming to a bit of a head.
An escalation.
Chugga, chugga, chugga.
I like that Nairos is like, guys, why are you still looking for the hollow one? You're done with him. Go.
Listen, I tried being subtle.
I appreciate it. I'm a dum dum. Sometimes
No,
I just
I was questioning, like, should I like do something with that because they seem still really interested, and I was like, no, if I don't want to change the mystery.
I wasn't sure if it was Desmond Dante or not, and so I was
Yeah.
like,
I thought he
And then,
was
like-
legitimately just like commandeering that.
No, it's someone else who was faking being the hollow one until
Oh.
the season passed and no longer suited their interest. Gordy. Or maybe it wasn't Gordy, I don't know.
I thought Desmond Dante was like, I am the hollow one. Everybody's like, yeah, sure.
He was, I think.
Right, but who's the real Hollow One? Will the real Slim Shady please stand up?
But I was
It's like we don't believe it. We don't believe it. We know it's not over.
a part of me wanted to, like, incorporate
we
it
just
more.
turn into like weird conspiracy nuts. We're like,
Yes.
But I didn't
No.
want to change the mystery once I've set you guys on the path.
Yeah.
I respect
Yeah.
that,
I
George R.
feel
R.
like
Martin.
that's not. I feel like that's not fair.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I respect that. I subscribe more to the George R. R. Martin route rather than the David and
the D&D word.
yeah.
They figured it out. We have to change it.
DMs message me, tell me how you feel about this. If you're like, no, they were so interested, you should have made something about it.
Nah.
I can see both answers being
think
valid.
I think it's less because, we're so interested and just like we just didn't believe he was actually the one. like, come on, really got
Yes,
No
he's
way.
the Halloween special.
He was the big boy.
because being honest, we have plenty that's still interesting. It's kind of good to just say, hey, forget
This is-
about him. Because
This one's a
otherwise,
dead
there's
end.
three really 3 really interesting things going on right now. That's a lot. To
All the
handle.
villains at the side are like, oh,
We
I
have
mean,
like
okay, oh,
ADHD,
wait.
not going to lie. We're like, oh, that's interesting, and that's
Listen,
shiny.
listen, it
That's
works
the
for me.
big bad guy. We gotta get them. And then there's another big bad guy.
There's
I mean, you're not wrong.
somebody
It also
bad.
makes writing books very difficult.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I want to write,
It's
but
like-
I'm having a really hard time starting and being happy.
all
with,
of this
like, my
mess
ideas.
Did you try just doing like a bullet point list of like event ideas, or just like the broad strokes instead of like getting in the nitty gritty of like how you're gonna write it?
Ashley loves the nitty gritty.
I have constant like what I'm writing is stupid and not worth it, and also like I'm
Your
not.
fucking mom ruining your self esteem. I hate it.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry to talk shit about your mom like that.
It totally is though.
Mom, if you somehow made it to here, I'm sorry, but you did wreck my self esteem. Good meaning as you were.
I mean,
anyway,
if I break you down, then I can rebuild you into a better person.
My image.
don't spoil my plot points. No, I'm kidding.
But yeah, no, like, Doug, you write well. I've read a lot of your writing. I've experienced a lot of your writing.
You're writing what we're doing right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
and, like-
but a game is different than a novel.
I know that feeling. I mean, like, obviously, every creative feels garbage about their work because they've spent literally hours and hours just staring at every micro detail of it, while everybody else is like, "Oh, that's hot."
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to repeat again, like, fucking, like, if you're getting caught up, if like you're having like I don't know how I want to write this or something, like, don't worry about like, because just speaking from personal experience, this might not be what the problem you're having is, but sometimes I have an issue where I'm like, fuck me in the ear and or butthole. This fucking
Butthole.
series of paragraphs just do not connect. They sound like garbage. I know what I'm trying to communicate, but I can't make it work for whatever reason. And so sometimes it's better to just be like broad stroke, like this happens, or like if you can't think of what the exact bit of dialogue is, just in all caps, be like they sell you something shitty or something like that, and then
Moving on.
yeah, well,
Why
I'm gonna sell it.
is
I'm gonna
things that you don't like, and like highlight it and rate, and just go on writing, and like put it. Don't leave it. Do something to mark it so you don't like obsess about it, and just go past it, and then come back to it later.
oh, that's a great idea. God damn.
and then send it off to my editor Sally, who will just write it for me.
Honestly, I mean, I think that helps a lot. I think another very important thing that isn't always readily apparent, especially when it comes to writing, is to read or, watch,
Yeah,
I
okay.
guess. Or, yeah, because, like, holy shit, for me, I noticed, like, I'm sure this is probably very similar with actual, like, illustration and drawing and stuff, is that, like, it's very easy to just get caught up in your own, like, voice, or, like, if you're writing to get caught up in, like, the same, like, 3 turns of phrase and just feel like I don't know how to fucking write anymore. And just reading other things, getting totally different voices, being exposed to totally different voices helps to enrich your own. And
also-
you can,
It also
Help.
helps disillusion you to ideas that you think are really clever, but other people who read the material you did already had that idea like 20 years
So?
ago. Chris.
there are no original creative stories. Like,
Chris
what
is
the
me,
fuck
by
are you
the way.
talking?
I'm not calling anybody out.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, like, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. Oh, it'd be funny if this, and then you find out that like 5 other authors also thought that was funny,
Yeah.
and are like 12 years your senior, so they've already
So?
written their books.
So write yours. It doesn't make, like, literally, it does not matter. There's no quota on how many similar plot points can exist. There's no quotas on any of those things. You can write as many as you want, or limits, I guess.
I guess that's true.
Like,
Yeah.
fucking, who cares? Like, fucking, what's his name? Smarty boy that all the nerds like that wrote fantasy books that have all sorts of puns in them.
Ashley OTK.
What'd you say, Nikki?
Tolkien.
Not Tolkien. The guy who wrote, like, Monstrous Regiment and fucking all the... Terry Pratchett, thank you. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, Terry Pratchett wrote all sorts of, like, wonkadoodle turn of phrase and, like, silly, like, turn things on top of their head things, and, like, so other people can write them too. And honestly, you have a very unique perspective that I think you should really bring to bear, just, like, writing things like especially when it comes to fantasy, let's be real, that is a field dominated entirely by like cishet white dudes who are neckbeards. And
Aw.
I love reading sci-fi and fantasy, and I cannot begin to tell you how nice it is to read stories written by authors who have a different background or like gender identity or something like that too. Like your R.A. Salvatores, for instance, who are just like the worst of the worst when it comes to that kind of stuff. And like,
Fucking
it's so nice.
calling you out, Salvatore.
I don't like his writing. I think it's incredibly boring and insanely
No,
misogynistic.
if he had an original idea, he never bothered to write it down.
Yeah. Holy shit. His stuff is so derivative. And, like, it's okay to be derivative. Like, it doesn't make it awful.
Edge of edgelords. The most
sometimes.
edgelords.
Honestly, my, like, he kicked off the worst arc in all of Star Wars expanded lore history.
Oh, I'm
The
only,
Yuuzhan Vong.
thinking of, I'm only thinking of the Drizzt books.
Oh, yeah. I've never read
really boring.
I've never read any of Drizzt because they look insanely generic and boring. Like, that's one of the reasons like it's so hard to find good fantasy sometimes because like I don't want to read shit that's like Drizzt or every other fucking like oh man, this like one lone dude who's like he's gonna like learn a lesson or he's gonna like save the kingdom. And so like I'm maintaining a big old list now of like either stories with queer characters or just written by women or things like that in the fantasy genre because or sci-fi genre because holy shit, when you find a story written by someone who's not like just a cishet white dude in his 40s or whatever, like you're like, oh my gosh, look at this breath of fresh air. Oh my gosh, like and here's the thing, it's not like they're like reinventing the entire like fantasy genre. Like one of my favorite book series is written by this woman named Jen Lyons, and like the series is called like has the literal like worst fucking marketing and titles because they're so goddamn generic. Like the first book is called like The Ruin of Kings, and it's just like a dragon on it. And it's like, wow, I could not think of a more like stock fantasy. But holy shit, that book has got so many.
Like every mobile game having like legend or clan or castle
or shadow
or
raiders or legend.
Or by the way, guys, we are not sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Not yet.
Raid
like,
Shadow Legends, please
hit us up.
Oh yeah, like with that nonsense, like the book is, I mean, it's basically about like overthrowing a monarchy and like royal successions and dark wizard shit.
Oh,
but
so
like
Sally.
Yeah. Yeah. You are what you read, but but like holy shit, like she's managed to craft a world that's just rife with like lots of little things that like you just don't see regularly in fantasy. Like the main character is like a guy, like for a lot of the book he's like 16 and like gets like basically adopted into his stepdad's house, and like, or not his stepdad, his actual dad's house, and then like an evil bad guy taking on the form of his stepmom, like, brings a bottle of wine into his room and seduces him and fucking fucks him. And, like...
Oh, my.
And if that were written by, like, pretty much any other dude, it'd be like, fuck yeah, you got laid, brah. But, like, one of his aunts is like, wait, she did what? Like, that's not okay. You cannot give consent. She got you drunk and you're underaged and, oh, this is bad. And I'm like, holy fucking shit, this book rules. And then in the sequel, it has an entire fucking legion of just, like, an entire society of, like, gender, like, non-gender normative shit compared to, like, Western society, and like the main character is like fucking gender fluid, and like there's all sorts of great things. Like it's not necessarily what you write but how you write it, and again, just having a different perspective automatically will just generate different things because like your life experience that you draw on is going to be different than like anybody else. And so even if you're writing like, oh, this is kind of a generic story, like again, it's not what's done, it's in the doing. So fucking right, Ashley, or I'll come in there and
we need to see your perspective.
beat you up with my compliments.
Yeah.
For you, Sally. All right.
Aggressive compliments.
All right, something. I just gotta settle on what, because
yeah.
I get that. That's a totally different problem. But
well, here's the thing. I tortuously tried to force like Crystal and my other like main characters into a plot that I wanted to write, and it wasn't working. I came up with a brand new cast. I'm like, all right, I like these guys. I think this could be good. This will be great. Okay. Man, I really want to worry about Crystal.
You know, one thing, just work him in down the road. Like, you can work him in later.
Main character. He has to be the main character.
You can't be the main character.
It's me. Crystal is me.
Oh no.
Ashley, I've got some shocking news for you.
Ren is you.
Every single character you write is you.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm.
Especially if you write anything with like a kink element. I hate to tell it to you, buddy, but you are actively working out your own thoughts and emotions with your.
I was trying to think of who my most hated villain was, and it was actually somebody from a different game.
Stray May!
No, it's not Stray May.
I'm
You
just
guys
kidding.
love Stray May.
I love Stray May.
I think you even got to fight this guy. He was like a one-off villain. He was a like dude bro armor.
Patty
Yes.
St. Patrick.
No, not him.
We partied with him afterward. He was great.
There was like I had them go through the Castlevania castle. If anyone's still here listening, I had
like
them.
an incel minotaur or something.
No, it was a like empty armor golem thing,
Oh yeah.
and he was a dude bro armor trying to seduce the Medusa, who wanted to go to the party with the Frankenstein, and he was
Yep.
like, "How's it going, dude?" And
He was the worst.
he was like, "Yeah, I tried Medusa. She's my girl. She just don't know it yet."
Yeah.
And I read this book. It said to say things like, "Hey, you look pretty good for a Gorgon." Everyone hated him. He was the most hated villain, and they killed him.
He sounds like one of the most fun villains to play too. Holy shit!
Oh yeah, all the things that like everyone hated. They were like, "Oh, I hate this guy," and it's like, and they killed that guy. They killed him dead.
They
Well,
killed
and,
the
like,
master dead.
I mean, kind of not to toot my own horn, but like that's a good illustrative example of like, there's been shitty villains from time immemorial, and there's been shitty like womanizing like. The like trope of like, ooh, the buff handsome guy is actually an asshole is nothing new. Like they fucking did it in Frozen.
And Gaston.
Yeah.
But like your version is unique to you, and like it's goofy, but like it's still in an entirely Ashley
Oh,
OTK way.
Oh,
So
thank you.
never feel bad about your writing. Everybody's got a unique voice. I don't give a fuck.
I'll do my best. I'll try to do the thing, because when my shoulder hurts and I can't draw, I can still probably write.
It's true. You could just say the word.
I still type.
Yeah. I can't speak that out loud.
Yes, you can.
It'd be like, and then Sherry Giggle did the thing to my main character Sandra. Haha, oh god, I can't believe I said that out loud. And Penny will be like, Ashley, what the fuck is this? I'm not editing this.
Are you a
Fix it.
teenager RPing right now?
Yeah, it would be definitely a little awkward to just be saying in a house with neighbors that are a little
In our
younger
duplex.
to be like, and then Crystal yelped
went
out
to
as the stinging
town.
smack landed on his
to
round butt.
Town on that
I was
people.
just gonna say I do actually have experience turning like horny ass like off the cuff RPs into actual books. I made an entire book out of it, of like an RP that Layla and I did for a fucking like week straight, and it's like
yeah.
cringeworthy in a lot of places still, but managed to be like
I did-
greatly like tightened up. And holy shit,
when I was looking for things to write, I did think about like, what are my favorite RP scenarios? But I'm like, these are a little like gray in the consent. What's the fucking word I'm looking for? Consenting way. God,
I mean,
all the fucking words.
I
forget.
think that's an important thing to keep in mind, especially if you're doing like IRL stuff. And I think it's important to decide like where your level is, but it is fiction, and that's important to remember.
And
Yeah,
apparently
I
something
had
actually-
to
Yep.
get some reassurance myself because my next book that I'm working on involves someone
Non-consensually being age regressed.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that's the thing.
will involve getting spanked. And I had to be like, well, are people going to be like, oh, you're an abuser. It was like, no. Sally was like, no, don't worry. Everybody knows. Anybody normal knows that this is just fiction.
Yeah, and like I think it's important to recognize too, like what you're writing. Like Nikki is not writing a parenting manual or like
yeah.
YA fiction. Nikki is writing a spanking / age play story, and so
Okay.
given that context, it's okay to have like dubious consent or something like that. It's not like it's real life where it's like, oh, you can't just like real life. Obviously, consent is important and critical and enthusiastic consent, but like fucking my like age play book that I just finished the sequel on like has an magic fuck ton of consensual non-consent and just like straight up non-consent, and that's what makes it fucking hot.
Yeah, I was
that's
about
like
to say,
one of the
it's-
components
it's
of
not fun otherwise for me.
it's one of the components of like it's like one of the very common things of like spanking in particular where it's like, oh, you don't get a choice, you're getting it now. And
Yeah.
obviously in real life that would just be like assault and battery and like how fucking dare you, but like again, it's fiction and everybody knows that this isn't like this is the how-to manual on how everybody should interact. It's
All right.
it's
I do feel
it's
better.
it's smut and it's
funny.
okay.
You've had this talk with me before, and I, brat that I am, didn't learn my lesson then. So maybe third
How
time
many-
will be the charm.
You won't learn it again, so we'll just have to give you a spanking.
Even when we're together, you're very reluctant to be like, yes, that's what I want. Like, so I have to be like, here's your chance, your last chance to be good. And then you're like, no, here it is.
Well,
I'll get consent in my own way.
on that note, we are 40 minutes in.
Honestly, that's a really good topic for the spank.
Oh hell yeah!
Yes.
Write it down. Get it. All right, we've done it. Successful table tea then.
Yeah, baby.
Unless
Yes.
there's anything else anyone wants to talk about, we can save the Castlevania talk till I've seen season 3. So
Yeah, watch
Oh,
it.
yeah,
Holy
yeah.
shit, you'll love it.
Eat it.
yeah.
Or eat it, watch it.
No, but if I don't see it, you'll just have to be quiet and listen to my opinion because you can't give me spoilers. My problem with it is, and it's not bad, just to
That's
clarify.
where we cut off the podcast.
Sully just cuts it off there. The editor has all the power.
It's me. I control everything. I'm the boss.
It was an inside job by Sally.
All right, but yeah, we're 42 minutes into table tea, so I think we can probably call this an
Yeah.
episode. Does anyone have anything
Yeah.
else they want to talk about?
Heck no.
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 This was fun. I feel like I kind of ended up
No,
getting into like
I
angry
like
mom.
It was a
mode.
it was a pep talk. It was very
I like
encouraging.
it. I like that it's
Oh my
recorded. so-
god, you'll write and you'll like it, young man.
Yo.
In
You have
fact,
something valuable to contribute to the.
Talk about dubious consent.
in fact, if we could just record all my compliments from now on
Yeah.
and upload them for the world to see,
we'll
but
do that.
mostly me.
We'll do that, like, kinky bondage thing where I just put headphones on you with repeating compliments.
Be like, no, stop!
This is literally the worst.
Or even worse, make him compliment himself.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
That is
Just like edging and then you make it.
Ashley's just like red. Nope, I don't like it.
I don't buy it.
all right. Well, that was table tea. I'm gonna go. Thank you guys. If you managed to make it to the end of all this, thank you very much for sticking with us.
You're a dang old sweetheart.
Oh,
Yeah, and even if you didn't, I had fun talking. So
yeah, I did
It's
too.
all-
That's the thing. Last thing, I swear. Even if this like nobody watches or listens, we enjoyed doing it, and I'll
Yeah.
enjoy going back and listening and be like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was a time in my life." And so
Well,
that's
you-
that's good enough.
that's why you create art,
It is.
because it's fulfilling to you.
Also, it pays money, and it doesn't mean I have to go do other things for money. So,
I can justify the time spent.
yeah. All right. Love you guys. I'm gonna go now before I get thrown into another topic.
All right, bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for watching. So,
See you next time.
like, comment, subscribe, and Patreon.
Yeah, do all those things.
All
Links
of
down
them.
in the doobly down below.
Yeah, there's links down below. Check them out.
Link in bio. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.